Hello and welcome back, Slayers, and today we're playing Dead Island 2. For those of you that do not know, Dead Island is a horror survival slasher and the first game came out back in 2011. Most of you were probably still eating sand in the kindergarten at that time. The series had some more games, but some of them were just expansions and the others were kinda irrelevant, so I only played the first one and the second one. The trailer for the second game was introduced during an E3 back in 2014, but was only released in April of 2023. So Attack on Titan fans can stop crying about how they waited so long for their series to conclude. It's called Go Read the Manga. But enough of that, let's get back to the game, and once again, major spoilers ahead. Dead Island 2 takes its place around Los Angeles, where we see people trying to escape the zombie apocalypse that is happening, and we get a slight introduction to the characters that we will be able to play as. As always, something goes wrong, just like when you try to accomplish anything, and the plane we got on had an infected on it, and we get shot down out of the sky. This is when we get to select our Slayer, who each have their own stats and perks. We get to choose between the British Comedic Relief, Little Pump, Buff Independent Woman Cliché, that girl from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Crane from Dying Light, and Chun-Li, who is heavily nerfed by losing her legs. Just because February is right around the corner, I of course had to choose the funny British black guy. After making our decision, we wake up from the plane crash and get a little tutorial, at the end of which we of course get infected. And then we wake up in the vast world of Hell A. So what is this game in a nutshell? Pretty much what you expect from any zombie survival game. You complete quests, increase your Slayer's level, get better weapons, unlock new perks, collect scrap for crafting, but let's talk about it all in a proper order. So let's start with the combat system. It is pretty basic for most of the slasher type games. You swing your melee weapons around to do damage and try to evade or block attacks not to die. But different weapons have different damage types, and while some are great for cutting zombies' heads off, the other are better for crushing bones and skulls. There are also mods and perks that you can craft onto your weapons that will increase the damage, durability, or make you swing your weapon faster. And that's exactly why you'll need to collect scrap items so you can repair your weapons or install those mods on them. But fear not, there are also other ways for you to fight zombies. There are throwable items named curveballs, and you can use them, but they do have a pretty long cooldown. Some of these curveballs lure zombies to a spot you threw them at, and the others do damage, and they also have damage types like electric or poison. The last thing in your arsenal are perks that you collect through the game. Some make you slam the ground and do area damage, or you can dropkick zombies into another dimension. Dropkicking was my favorite because if something really annoying is chasing you, you can send it flying. Is it still chasing me? And stay down. Also, you do get some ranged guns in the game, and they do some heavy damage, but you will have a limited amount of ammo, and it will be some time before you can actually craft ammo. Now let's move to the perks in the game. There are Slayer cards that you collect through the game, and some of them are only bound to a certain character. These cards can boost your damage after a successful dodge, reduce the cooldown of your curveball items, or set zombies on fire whenever you dropkick them. After a certain part of the game, we can also activate one of our abilities that basically turns us into a zombie. Because, spoiler alert, we are immune and very special and we can control our zombie powers. Who would have thought? I know. And some of the cards can actually add buffs to that ability and are pretty useful. But some of these cards increase your autophagy, autophagy? How the f do you pronounce this? But more you increase your auto whatever, the more pros and cons you get, like reduced health regen but more damage. You can play around with these cards and make your own build to play the style that fits you the most. Now let's talk about the enemies. There is actually a large number of them, and that's why the game gives us Zompedia that has all of the types of zombies that you have killed, and the more you kill, the more of their strengths and weaknesses you can learn about. There are two groups of enemies: common zombies that consist of regular zombies, some of which run faster and have a certain damage type, and apex variants. Those are basically mini bosses that have special skills and attacks, and they also do have a certain damage type. The reason why I keep on bringing up damage types is because if you have a weapon with a poison mod on it, it will not do damage to the enemies with a poison damage type. So it's best to have a couple of weapons with different mods on them, or to have a weapon with no mods at all. So now let's talk about the challenges and collectibles. There are a bunch of different challenges in the game, and you will need to complete quests, kill zombies overall, or in a special way to complete these challenges. The rewards for these challenges can be blueprints for weapon mods, permanent boosts to your stats, or just money. And yes, there is money in the game, and there are vendors at each save house on different locations on the map, and you can buy weapons, ammo, blueprints, curveballs, or scrap items from them. For the collectibles, you will find notes that contain the lore for the game, or keys to saves that are located around the whole map, and you can actually get some pretty cool weapons from from those. Now let's move on to the map. There are a total of 10 locations in LA, and each has some save zones with vendors, crafting benches, and etc. At first you will need to run from one location to another, but after you will be able to fast travel between them, which is actually huge because not all of the locations are connected to each other directly. Each location is fairly big and you will need to explore them because not all of the side quests are marked on the map for you. But at the same time, they're not huge, so you won't spend 5 minutes on just running from one end of the map to another. Now let's move on to the visuals, and they're pretty solid. Characters look good, same types of zombies do not look all the same, scenery is diverse but closely tied to how Los Angeles would actually look. Weapons look pretty cool, the animations for finishing zombies look smooth, so the game looks great. Moving on to music, it's great. There is actually a large variety of music, from battle music down to some pop or rock songs, and finishing up with some songs that just help you dive into the atmosphere of sunny LA beaches. Now to my favorite part of the game, which was voice acting and the overall vibe to the game. I do not know if the other Slayers were as good as the one I picked, but holy f*** was Jacob one of the funniest characters I've ever seen in video games. His constant witty phrases and just the way he presented himself, I could play the game again just to laugh at all of the jokes he made.
You should see a circular opening big enough to stick your arm into.
I see a robot sphincter.
Stick it in.
Always some nonsense hanging around the fairground.
Alright. Other characters were great as well. They had a distinctive personality and were voiced fitting to their persona. The game itself was also really well made with the comedic vibe that it was set to. Unlike Dying Light, which is one of my favorite zombie games, it was more humorous than serious. Even during some heartbreaking moments, the game found a way to make a funny joke out of it.
Maybe I don't need it.
Not his head, you idiot!
Thought his head was the problem.
Speaking about bugs, I actually haven't seen any besides one, and it was that some of the items get stuck in textures and you cannot pick them up. Another great aspect of the game is that you can play with your friends, and as always, I played it alone, but you can dive into LA with your friends and have some fun. The only thing that sucks is that the game was not cross-platform, but nothing can be perfect, besides Ryan Reynolds. Overall, I have put a fair amount of hours into the game, and the only reason why I didn't get the 100% on it is because some of the achievements can only be done in co-op, and I didn't want to play with random people online. The game also has a DLC, which I haven't played because I'm broke, but I took a peek at it online and it looks pretty good. So once again, overall, Dead Island 2 is a super fun game, and I will definitely come back to it again because it was so much fun, and because there is a new Game Plus option. And maybe this time I'll actually have some friends to play with. So thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoy my content, please leave a like and comment what games do you want to see me play next. Also, don't forget to turn on the notifications so you know when I post the next video. Have a good day, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.